Drag with Remedy. I'd like to think we live in a post-sarcasm world, or at least that's how I want my words and thoughts to enter the world, unambiguous as need be. There's already too much suspicion, there's already too much margin for error in how our words are interpreted, so why add to it? Sometimes, despite our best efforts, of course, it just turns out that way. That's the beauty of language, I suppose. My name is Remedy Robinson, and this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and historical snapshots, as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Peace in Our Time, from Goodbye Cruel World, released in 1984. The songwriting is credited to a 30-year-old Elvis Costello. I mention his age only to situate the reference. A 30-year-old Englishman writing about an event that had taken place 46 years before, an historical event that took place 16 years before the writer was born. In 1984, Wham! Requested Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. Tina Turner asked, "What's love got to do with it?" And in that same year, Elvis Costello recalled an event from history that, more than 80 years later now, continues to serve as a clarion call and grave reminder that, in the immortal words of another Elvis Costello masterwork, history repeats the old conceits, the glib replies, the same defeats. Set to a doleful, steady pulse of piano strikes, this remarkable piece begins. Out of the airplane stepped Chamberlain with a condemned man's stare. But we all cheered wildly. A photograph was taken as he waved a piece of paper in the air. Now the disco machine lives in Munich, and we are all friends. And I slip on my Italian dancing shoes as the evening descends. Captured in these first 5 lines is the scene from Heston Aerodrome, September 30th, 1938, after the UK Prime Minister, Neville Chamberlain, returned from the Munich Agreement, otherwise known as an appeasement meeting with Nazi Germany's Hitler and Italy's Mussolini, where it was agreed that Germany would annex the western part of the then Czechoslovakia. The perils, it seems, of rational brains going up against those with irrational and corrupt intentions. This first verse encapsulates the optimistic yet wildly naive hope of friendly relations, a disco machine in Munich, Italian dancing shoes. What more information is needed to explain the situation further? It was a situation Chamberlain described as, quote, peace with honor, ending his speech on that tarmac with, "Go home and get a nice quiet sleep." And the bells take their toll once again in a victory chime, and we can thank God that we finally got peace in our time. And the bells take their toll. What a charming, devastating, and right on the money double meaning this is. With the sound of bells comes impending doom, taking their toll on millions upon millions of innocent people. This victory chime, history has shown, was a fool's errand. Neville Chamberlain was succeeded by Churchill, of course, and remains a source of derision by the many who believe he did not adequately prepare for war. This historical episode sadly does not live in a vacuum, nor was it over come VE Day, May 8th, 1945. There still remain so many unintended results of the piece of paper that was waved in the air that day. There's a man going round taking names no matter who you claim to be. As innocent as babies, a mad dog with rabies, you're still a part of some conspiracy. Meanwhile, there's a light over the ocean, burning brighter than the sun, and a man sits alone at a bar and says, "Oh God, what have we done?" The looming threat of nuclear annihilation and the scourge of McCarthyism, just two unforeseen consequences of World War II. My good friends, Chamberlain said as he greeted the crowd on the tarmac that day. It's so hard to imagine that he actually thought that that was a triumphant diplomatic meeting. There are few words that can overstate these moments of human failure, so Elvis Costello brings it all to a human level. A man sits alone in a bar and says, "Oh God, what have we done?" Not what did they do, not what did he do, but a collective, societal, "Oh God, what have we done?" And the bells take their toll once again in a victory chime, and we can thank God that we finally got peace in our time. The plaintive way Elvis Costello enunciates "thank God" when he sings it, it is nearly too much to bear in this context. There is a reason he is called a master. They're lighting a bonfire upon every hilltop in the land. Just another tiny island invaded when he's got the whole world in his hands. And the heavyweight champion fights in the international propaganda Star Wars. There's already one spaceman in the White House. What you want another one for? There's an old Tonight Show clip, guest hosted by Joan Rivers, that has Elvis Costello singing this song, just him and his guitar. He sings the song faithfully until he gets to this verse. Then he changes "upon every hilltop in the land" to "every hilltop in England." When he poses the question of a spaceman in the White House, instead of "what you want another one for," he sneers, "what you want the same one again for." It's surprising and quite worth mentioning how, even though these references are not obscure, they are still somehow oblique enough to remain timeless rather than dated. And the bells take their toll once again in a victory chime, and we can thank God that we finally got peace in our time. So let me ask you, what would you classify this piece as? Is it a protest song? It clearly isn't championing these events and people, yet, as with so many other deft pieces Elvis Costello pens, he is able to bring it right up to that line, leaving the listener with a measured argument, but without proffering an outright opinion or point of view either way, just outlining irrefutable glimpses of history that have brought us to where we are now. And as for sarcasm that I mentioned before, this piece does seem to rely on the device quite heavily, given what we know about peace and how there isn't much in these lines to confirm the notion of its actual existence. If it now seems like a relic of those days of anti-nuclear dread Elvis Costello wrote about this piece, then I hope it stays that way. There's more to this quote, but it's outside of the quote mark, so I'm not sure who it's attributed to, but here it is. Quote, "Let's all hope that we one day reach a point where the refrain sounds gloriously genuine and not bitterly sarcastic." I suppose it's okay to live in a world of sarcasm if its intentions are good, with the vestiges of World War II still nipping at the heels of the promise of a World War III. It seems a bit unlikely that gloriously genuine will eventually win out in the end. Peace in Our Time speaks to so many different times in history, yet one thing remains constant. It's clear that this is not someone else's time. Regardless of the actions and decisions of a few, it continues to be our time.
Dig it.
Again, this has been a slow drag with Peace in Our Time from 1984's Goodbye Cruel World. It's a cautionary tale. It's a page out of history. It's sarcasm and hope doing a balancing act. It's a glorious, gorgeous ballad that brings a listener to the brink of despair, snatching us back with lovely chiming bells and a notion of peace, regardless of how fleeting it might be. Please refer to episode 6 of Slow Drag with Remedy. Don't let them see you crying that way. For a slow drag with another song from Goodbye Cruel World, the lovely Joe Porterhouse. Both of these pieces are so seemingly world-weary and wise. No wonder the album was given this title. It's rumored that Elvis Costello planned to quit after this one, hence the title. And while the world could have lived off of these 9 studio albums, the world is a much better place for what was and is to come next from Mr. Elvis Costello. And that's it for today's Slow Drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at Slow Drag Remedy and visit our companion blog for transcripts of each episode, including helpful references. If you'd be so kind, please tap the Rate This Podcast link in the show notes to find the places you can leave a rating and a review for this little passion project. Please share Slow Drag with Remedy with other writers, poets, history buffs, and language lovers. Thank you for helping spread the word. It means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow Drag